State. Senator Barrow Peacock is here. Hey, Mr. Barrow, how are you today? Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Excellent. So Erin says she gets this email yesterday. Would the two of you care to discuss this, please?
What troubles me about this, Barrow, is all the delays. And now it looks like letting of this bridge project, the new bridge, the earliest it could happen would be 2020?
That is what Secretary Wilson has stated in the email. And to me, I don't understand the delays. As I showed you, the environmental assessment was completed in July of 2015. And that was the understanding that with the environmental assessment completed, a new bridge could proceed very rapidly. And now, even after 10 months of canceling a contract to rehab the old bridge, the existing bridge, they're saying the summer of 2020, and that to me is just, it's not acceptable.
Barrow, when we scrapped the plan to rehab the current Jimmie Davis Bridge because of for whatever the real reason was, they say because of the barn swallows, how much money was lost?
There was $23 million that was allocated to that project.
Do we still have that money, and is it still allocated?
That's my question to DOTD. If this money was allocated to rehabbing the existing bridge, why couldn't that money be used for matching funds with federal money, especially since the environmental assessment was completed for a 4-lane new bridge with pedestrian and bike crossing?
And what are they telling you about that?
They're saying the earliest is summer of 2020.
But they still have that money set aside for our bridge, or no?
They have not clarified that.
They're also talking about a toll. Is Senator Barrow Peacock in favor of a toll on the Jimmie Davis Bridge?
As it currently exists.
I'm not in favor of a toll on the Jimmie Davis Bridge. I don't believe you should be able to put a toll on the existing crossing of the Red River. And that is an existing crossing, even if with a new bridge, it should not be tolled. Especially then the $23 million was allocated and that was state money. So with that, with the environmental assessment, why can it not proceed? The whole point of doing an environmental assessment is to be able to qualify for federal matching money.
Now they're saying that we need to have more public hearings for a new bridge. Are we starting over, and why?
I've been to several of those meetings in Bossier at Barksdale Baptist Church and seen the plans, seen the designs. That to me is why the delay, why the study, and restudy for something that we all know is needed. And you actually they have put out a document saying that there is no problems with proceeding with a 4-lane new bridge with pedestrian crossing.
Mr. Barrow, that we have spoken with Dr. Wilson a couple of times, and I guess the state's plan, DOTD's plan, is to, until the 4-lane bridge construction begins at some nebulous point in the future, they're going to do patchwork repairs on the current span. What have you heard about that? Because I drove across it yesterday. I don't see any recent patchwork repairs on the current span.
I see a lot of potholes on the existing bridge, but I don't have, and the bridge is safe. It's safe, but we need a new bridge. It's something that, for our sunshine governor, Jimmie Davis, to have that bridge in its current state is not doing justification for his name or for the citizens of Bossier City or Shreveport.
Senator Barrow Peacock, essentially Dr. Wilson, who we had on the air yesterday, he essentially said we have to have more revenue. His preference is a gas tax, or we're not going to have a new bridge. Does that trouble you?
We'll see what comes out of the legislative session this coming up session. There are things that other states do. They allocate, our neighbors to the West Texas, they allocate part of their general sales tax to roads and bridges. Why don't we do that in the state of Louisiana?
We had Dr. Wilson yesterday, Erin just mentioned, and one of the things he said during our conversation was that in reference to DOTD and the bridge and other construction, he said, we need to live within our means. And we got a text from a listener right after that said, I'm really sick and tired of state officials telling me that we need to live within our means. I do live within my means. It's the state that doesn't seem to. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. And, unfortunately, the state of Louisiana has 26,000 fewer jobs than they did two years ago, statewide. Every community, Houma, Thibodaux, Lafayette, Shreveport, Bossier, and the rural areas are in a recession. The two areas that are doing well is Lake Charles, which has an economic boom and good for the people in Lake Charles, and Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge continues to grow every single year, and it's because government doesn't know how to cut back.
Are you going to be in for a fight for this bridge? Because everybody says, Baton Rouge only has 2 bridges over the Mississippi River. Shreveport Bossier's got 5.
We're a different community, and we have different needs than Baton Rouge. The Mississippi River is a completely different kind of body of water than the Red River. And we have more people crossing now. They have I-10, and Baton Rouge does need a new bridge. We in Shreveport Bossier, we tax ourselves. We put in the Arthur A. T. Parkway. We put in the Clyde Vance Parkway. That was local money. I want to see Baton Rouge step up to the plate and do something for themselves for a change instead of always asking the state of Louisiana to bail them out.